popped off low key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit a 3 like Kyrie.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Kickin' It with Tyree. I'm Tyree, and I'm sitting here with Will Taylor and Devito Beats, the founders of Creambridge. How y'all doing today?
Cooling out, man.
Man, it's a pleasure to finally tap in with you for sure.
Thank you guys for being here. I always start with this one question. How did y'all get into the music business?
You want to go first?
I've been just doing the music for a while. Just started out just producing since I was like in middle school, just being around people who was doing music back then, and I just kind of picked it up since like '07. I've been doing it on my own, like seriously, but I've really been around it all my life though, for sure.
Yeah, and I'll say for me, I relocated to California in 2015. In community college, and then transferred to UCLA. So when I got there, just kind of hit the ground running. Did like a lot of music club stuff, and then kind of like slipped in the radio. Fell in love with that, and just kind of hit the ground running from there in terms of just finding other ways to kind of diversify and get tapped in with the industry.
So now, how did you guys get connected and kind of start Creambridge?
Yeah.
I said Queenbridge. I felt like I said Creambridge. I said Creambridge, but it sounded like Queenbridge in my head.
Yeah, so it's crazy because, me and Vito got tapped in, through Chicken, because, Vito's been like a long-time primary producer from him, and then, around, I want to say like November, I started like working with Chicken in a managerial capacity, and, Chicken recorded a lot at Vito's crib, and, instantly, like, just seeing how he was in rhythm with Chicken and recommending different things, like, I'm like, man, like, bro, like, you really more than a producer, like, you really got an A&R mind in terms of, like, and the thing is, like, Vito wasn't just giving Chicken his own beats. It's like, it's Tay Huncho. He was just a catalyst for a lot of other producers, and I kind of seen from the jump, like, bro, you really an A&R, and, we just had like a trip to Detroit when we did like the Say Cheese interview for Chicken, and then we just kind of hit it off from there.
Yeah, that's how I went.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Been there since my man's, right?
That's what's up. And I know you guys just got a grant or fellowship. Tell us a little bit more about that. I was reading into it a little bit, but I just want to know a little bit.
Yeah. So for like the grants, I was like with the shit. It's me. Yeah. And then let me make sure it don't go off again like in another. All right, for sure. But and then just pick it back up.
Yeah, just pick it back up.
But yeah, so the grant was with like the coalition of black businesses, and like with that money, we basically launched a fellowship where, we got a cohort of 6 youth. And the majority of them is like my little cousins. So essentially with that, we take them here to High Five. Free studio time, mentorship. We had, Chicken, a few other artists pull up and kind of just give them game on how to seriously pursue music and kind of get things together in life. And then, also provide them like with video production and, just other kind of character development skills. And then the most recent thing, we were selected to participate in the Black Independent Music Accelerator, which is hosted by an organization, A2IM, and they're like an association for like independent record companies and publishers, and it's a blessing to be a part of that because we got access to like a lot of like high level different mentors, and throughout the program we're getting tapped in like with different executives at DSPs like Apple, SoundCloud, and just really are getting like good insight on how to become more competitive as like an independent music company.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And it's always, a lot of people don't know about those accelerator programs. That's why a lot of people miss the opportunity to even get them.
That's facts.
How would you kind of recommend, like, people who are in your position look for those different opportunities? Because I know they're slim to none almost sometimes, especially for black business owners or black record labels. How do you suggest other people kind of follow in your footsteps?
That's a great question. And it's obviously like access and being in position to receive that information, and more importantly, rather than looking at how you know, like the everyday person that's an aspiring music exec or whatever get access to it. I really feel like the accountability should fall on, you know, the directors at these platforms, because it's like you got to know how to get tapped in with certain demographics and certain pockets that, you know, might be from underserved communities. And like, that's where I really feel like, you know, they have to do a better job at that. But, you know, for anybody just looking to be on the up and up, it's like, you know, you got to be strategic, like with what newsletters you're subscribed to. And like the way, you know, I was able to come about it was like just a former music industry professor made a post about it, you know, on Facebook. And, you know, the whole time, the crazy thing is like, as of now, we're just like a full service, like management company. And the program was intended for actual record labels. But the way we were able to, you know, get admitted is because like we do like a lot of social impact initiatives. And like, that's like why they kind of gave us the green light. But for anybody aspiring, it's just like, you got to kind of just, and even if you can't get access to a mentor, it's just like, go read articles they were covered in, go listen to a podcast that they were featured on, and, you know, and then from there, you know, follow those platforms, subscribe to the newsletters, because those opportunities are out there. They're just not really disseminated, you know, publicly.
That's what's up. Just gotta, you know, take the knowledge and run with it, because a lot of people be scared to even, like, you know, apply for those things. They don't feel like they worthy for them, and then all of a sudden you might apply and you actually get it. Like, so you just got a confidence that, you know, you are worthy for it, and just keep pushing it. If that's your vision, go for that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And Devito, I know you've been working with Chicken for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
A long time. How has it been watching him grow as an artist? You know, especially since it's been back, trying to get, you know, you're more on the managing side now. So how have you guys been trying to grow him as an artist?
Well, from the start of just seeing him as an artist, when we met, the first song that we ever did was Going Crazy with the Racks. And that was like a local hit that they still, you know, playing to this day. So that was like the first song that we literally ever did. The first day I met him, the first everything with him, you know. So just from seeing his progression as far as like just how he records and his whole process, it's like he went from like the minor leagues to the major leagues, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, just seeing him progress and just seeing like just song structure, content. It's like, man, everything about him, I just seen so much just in him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just as far as how he just do his thing, you know, I just seen him just elevate and mature so much as far as the music. So
What's up? Chicken, one of my favorite interviews, because it was just funny, because I'd be looking at him and be like, hey, bro. Everybody else be like, hey, bro, was he asleep? Nah, that's just how he was. Like, he was just chilling. Like, he wasn't, you know, hard to interview. It was easy to talk to. He just gave me the real of what was going on and didn't sugarcoat nothing. That's why I fuck with that interview a lot. So I know you guys talked about your initiative, or your initiatives that you're implementing in Milwaukee. Tell my audience a little bit more about that, because I know you have the driver license initiative that I talked with Solo about. So tell my audience a little bit about the initiatives you have going forward and how you're about to make social impact.
Yeah, and like, you know, and it's public record, so like, you know, we work with both like Chicken and Solo, and, you know, what I'm about to say is obviously referred to things that were done in the past, and, you know, they served, you know, their debt to society for it. But, you know, obviously, you know, auto theft is rampant in the city, you know, driving without owner's consent, reckless driving, etc. It kind of impacts all of us in one way or another. And, you know, kind of considering that like Chicken and Solo kind of have significant influence, and like, you know, their music could even be considered like, you know, what they are to high speed might be what to like Dirk and Chief were to like drill.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what our approach is like, you know, we kind of believe in like restorative justice, and like we don't look at hip hop as a deficit. So it's like, you know, we're approaching a social problem like we're gonna use hip hop as a solution, you know. And with Solo and Chicken spearheading that, you know, essentially like we're putting a play together to where, you know, by the end of the summer, you know, we'll have the funding to subsidize you know, driver's ed classes for about 300 youth, you know, to where, and you know, this is also going to be youth that were convicted of operating without, you know, owner's consent, you know, to reckless driving, whatever. You know, we're not going to exclude them, you know, we're inviting them into it, and, you know, making them a part of it. And like, you know, that kind of tied back to when I was in school. I actually like did a research project, and I know, you know, like Jay Smooth, and you know, he didn't invent the dance, but he kind of popularized it. And like, you know, it got picked up, I think, by Fox 6 News, and you know, they were just saying like, oh, you know, this is encouraging and promoting auto theft. And, you know, like, I challenge that perspective, because it's like, you know, there's a counter narrative. Like, you know, when you take that point of view, you're assuming that this person is just like a perpetrator, you know, they're committing the crime, but he was actually a victim. You know, he had like a little Chevy Cobalt, and he got peeled like twice, you know, over on like 47th and Center. And, you know, his mom actually filed like 2 police reports, and like there was never no follow-up. So within that whole incident, it kind of showed like how he's impacted from it from a victim status. It kind of showed the powerlessness between like him, you know, as a young black man, and MPD, like, you know, essentially being negligent in their job. And like his inspiration behind doing that dance was something deeper than what was being conveyed. So like, it's been something I've been just following for a while. And like, you know, our thing is like, man, we believe hip hop is like the ultimate empowerment too, and that's kind of like what's really like inspiring like our job to really get that up and off the ground this summer.
That's what's up.
It was just to kind of counter what he was saying, like, Will just kind of, you know, just put me up on that way of thinking, like, man, we need to just do something for these youth, you know, just like with everybody having a platform and having like, you know, having a name that we can help, you know, just a lot of young people. So we all just looking to use what we have to help everybody, you know, help all these kids that's going through, you know, different situations to, you know, be better. So, you know, that's where we at with it.
That definitely, I feel like, is the cause, you know. It's just more negligence on the city's behalf, you know. Like, we don't have many driver ed classes offered at high schools because, you know, in the suburbs, they offer that, you know. They have that option for them to take it as a class, as a credit, you know. So out here, we need, you know, more resources for the kids so they don't have to feel like they have to, you know, teach themselves how to drive or steal a car. You know, if you have your license, you have more, you know, incentive to go work and get your own car.
It's just different nowadays, man. When I was, you know, in high school, you know, catching the bus was like a normal thing for us back in the day. Me and all my guys would catch the bus to Mayfair or go wherever we wanted to go. But nowadays, it's like these young dudes, they, you know, not their age no more. So these little dudes who's 16 and 17 feel like, I mean, I ain't catching the bus nowhere, bro. I want to do this and do that. But it's like, well, it's also the proper steps you got to go about to drive at that age, you know.
It's levels.
And that's where we come in at, you know, we're trying to implement the driver's ed program for those people who are eligible, you know.
When did the bus not be cool? I remember taking the bus too, like
On that 57 every morning, 7:45.
on that 30 going to Lincoln every morning. I remember that. Like, man. So, what is next for you guys? Like, what are you focusing on right now with the business, and how do you look to move forward? Yeah.
I feel like what we focus on now is just like cultivating the youth, managing a couple artists that we have, managing a couple producers that we have, and we're just looking just to keep pushing the culture forward with everything a part of, you know, our program.
Yeah, and I'll chime in with that too. It's like, you know, management is a limited skill, and it's like obviously Devito, you know, A&R strength producer, so you know he has a different skill set to service other creatives. You know, with me having a media background, you know, strong marketing acumen, like, you know, we're currently like working on a play to where we're gonna be able to work with other creators, like with like more of an unlimited scale. And like, you know, when you look at someone like Ghazi and what he did for the Bay Area, you know, building up the independent distribution to where, you know, now he's a pretty strong conglomerate offering joint venture label partnerships. Like, we definitely got a lot like of work cut out to get to that level, but like in the meantime, you know, we're working on, you know, basically expanding the company to where we'll be able to like solve certain problems in the Milwaukee ecosystem. And I think, you know, the most immediate one is like, you know, when you look at like a lot of, the labels, like, and they use like Chartmetric and certain tools to like basically analyze like, will this artist be commercially viable if we provide them with these financial resources, marketing, etc. And like the biggest knock on us is like, the YouTube numbers from the videographers, it doesn't translate, to the Apple, the Spotify, SoundCloud, etc. So like we kind of identified that kind of gap right now. We're definitely kind of figuring out.
But the problem with that is like they're not looking at how many people actually have those subscriptions in Milwaukee. Yeah. Compared, because if the youth is most of the following for a lot of people, right. Like a lot of the artists, kids are watching them. Right. A lot of kids don't have no Apple Music subscription. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's 1 million kids listening to them on YouTube. Right. That's bigger than 1 million people listening to them on Spotify, I feel like. Right. Because they actually got to go in and search them. Sometimes I'll listen to something on Spotify or Apple Music that I didn't go to search for. It just turn on. Right. So I feel like it holds more weight because they're actually going and searching for these people, No,
that's definitely like valid perspective. And, that was a keen analysis because, like, in just certain conversations I had, looking to source distribution deals, small marketing budgets, like, they just don't have the cultural insight to our market and, like, understanding what you just said. Their whole thing is like, oh, we got this tool that's analyzing, your Google Trends and all this other shit. And it's just like, man, but sometimes culture, you can't quantify it, especially when it's still in the early stages of it, because it's like, potential is just always hard to measure. So, I know here, like, we just got a lot of potential. You see, like, LeKay and, like, other people are kicking down the doors, and I think this summer, we're really going to see, like, a lot of forward momentum with the creator scene here.
If there's a bunch of, Milwaukee artists just popping up, they moved out of Milwaukee and then they popped up. Yeah. And that's the thing with me. Like, I don't like that we have to leave to have the resources to, get to that level. We should be able to, build our own system, our own, resources to be able to, make it at home or not have to leave to feel like you can follow your dreams and stuff like that. So I feel like that's kind of a negative connotation on Milwaukee, that people have to leave to be successful. And that's, successful is your own thoughts. You could be successful here at home, or you could be, successful somewhere else. It's not going to change what you do.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Where we at time? I just wanted to know. 18 minutes. We going to take a break here and we going to get back.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.
And we back. Kicking It with Tyree, Creambridge. I hope that sound right, because I thought I said it right. And we got 2 of their producers here. How about you guys introduce yourselves?
My name is Boat, done by Boat.
Speak up, bro. He said, my name is Boat. Boat, you said? Yeah. Like a lightning bolt?
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, my name King Meezy.
King Meezy?
Yeah.
How did you guys get into music?
I've been into music like my whole life. Like, my parents just playing music around the house, and then I picked up a guitar when I was like 7.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing with me. I grew up around music all my life. My pops was a producer, my uncle was a producer, so my pops was a producer and my uncle was a producer, so ever since then I just love music, and that's how I got into it.
How did you guys get connected with Creambridge?
Actually, we've been like trying to link up for a while now. And last year it just made sense for all of us to come together and all of us to build together. So that's how we got into it. My cousin knew Vito for a while, and I went to school with Will. So it was meant to happen. It was meant to be.
All the steps, everything is laid in place. That's what's up. So, what are you guys working on as artists? Like, what can we see from you to come in the future? What to say?
For sure, more me and Solo Key. He's got a lot to my beats, and I keep sending them to him. So he's just gonna keep rapping on them.
Yeah, same thing. Solo, Chicken. You working with a lot of people right now. Try to get some out there, some more industry people. You know, we just keep working.
How would you kind of describe yourself to, people who have never heard your beats or, heard you before? Your sound.
My sound is actually all over the place. Sometimes I could do like Midwest, or I could do South, or I could go to Cali. You know, whatever you need, I got it for you.
That's what's up.
That's a whole lot. Yeah.
And then what about you, Bo?
My focus right now is more on like the Milwaukee, Detroit sound, but I mean, I can do pretty much anything else too.
Yeah.
But it's just what I mainly do right now.
He's from Detroit, so.
Yeah.
You from Detroit? That's what's up.
It's in his blood.
Yeah, we got to remind y'all that he looks 16 because he is 16 or 17.
I'm used to saying 16 because my birthday was like just a bit ago.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Literally, last week?
2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure.
What would you say your top 3 influences are in music, whether it be, like you said, your parents or musicians?
Producer-wise, I have to say Pharrell, Kanye West, and newer, I got to say probably, there's a lot of new, like, big producers out there that I'm listening to. Metro, Energy Beats, he killing it right now. So it's a lot of people.
For like newer producers, probably like Pierre.
Yeah.
Like Detroit producers, probably like Michigan Meech or like another one, I can't think of his name right now, but there's, and then probably for like older producers, probably like Jay Dilla or something like that.
Oh, Detroit. He said, I'm Detroit. He said, I'm from the D. What you talking about? That's
his blood.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, how long have you guys been working together? And
Me and Mo.
yeah,
This is like our second time.
second time.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I heard a little bit, but I can't really tell off walking through the hallways. You know what I'm saying? This is a random question. I always ask people on the show. What are your top 3 movies?
Oh man.
Off tops, I say New Jack City. Friday, that third one is tough. And I just off the top probably go with maybe Paid in Full for like my top 3 maybe.
Me, top 3 movies. Money Talks first. That's like one of my classics. Rush Hour 2. And I like last one. Damn. Inside Man. Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
This is probably like Goodfellas. Scarface is good. And then can't really think of like a third one.
You grew up watching AMC on the weekends. Mob Week.
Man, I feel childish because everybody's saying serious movies. Probably Space Jam. I don't know. I don't really watch movies like that. I don't even watch TV no more, honestly. So,
I feel you. It's rough, especially when you're a creator. You always feel like you got something else to do.
Yeah.
I'll throw on the TV and just sit on my computer, like not even paying attention to what's
Just
going on.
background
Like,
noise.
yeah, it's just background noise at the end of the day. Again, thank y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all a couple more questions. Just, I know you were talking about, you're giving almost like a scholarship grant to 6, kids in Milwaukee. Have you already started that? And, name off some of the kids and what their attributes are.
For sure. So yeah, the fellowship is already in motion. They actually got another session here at High Five tomorrow, and it's 6 of them. Pablo, K3, Trill. Trying to remember all their rap names. Brando, and not Smacker Eli. But yeah, so they've had a few sessions so far. Trail K3 just shot their first video, which was kind of like a, remembrance visual for one of their cousins that just got tragically murdered, and then Pablo and Not Smacker Eli are shooting their first video Saturday at midtime. They kind of got like a real fun TikTok-y spin again. It should. So we're just keeping them busy. All of them were with MPS, so it's just like being at home, all virtual, no extracurricular. Like we really just wanted to provide them with the space, so they staying out the way, staying out of trouble, and socializing with their peers.
Devito, I know you've been around Milwaukee music for a long time. How has the scene grown and changed over time?
Well, it grew because back in like 07 when I first got on the scene, we didn't really have too much of a scene. There was only a couple producers at the time, Ride Out Rail, Young Dev, Business Boy, shout out to them. It was only a couple dudes. Young Tune at the time, he was doing all the stuff with Jack It Down, L Bug, all them type of guys. So it was just like, it was real limited back then. We didn't have like a lot of videographers or nothing back then. So to see where we are today, it's kind of like, man, we have our own little industry, so that we just waiting for it to break through to the industry. So I've seen it progress a lot, just even with myself, just everything that I'm doing, it's just elevation with everything that I've been seeing everybody going through. So
we definitely at that. We like right at that brink, like right before everything falls through, because you see a lot of industry artists kind of falling towards our sound or like that slap sound. It's a lot of industry artists going towards that sound, whether it be, Lil Yachty, who just had a whole album of that, or, Moneybagg Yo, his whole album sound just like Milwaukee beats, like, or Detroit. And it's just like you can see it like falling towards that way, and all we gotta do is just step in. Lakia is there, and she
like what I told one of my homeboys. I told him like 2 years ago. I said the industry, the sound's gonna change to that, and it's here now. Hot Boy just dropped something off of Detroit, slapping sounding beat. So, I knew it was coming. You just got to pay attention to the trends.
Yeah, definitely right around that brink. Right there, you just need that one to break it off.
Yeah. It just take one artist to get something clever and catchy on one of those type of beats. Then that's when it's like the trends start.
I ain't gonna lie, when I saw Lakia with a song with Gucci, I was like, that's it. I was like, we right there. I was like, she got a song with Gucci that she right to that point of being a star. And it's just, consistency and hard work. And everything else is going to fall.
For sure.
We were talking in a break. Will, you've been working with David Sebastian. Kind of tell me, how has that been? I saw a little clip of his last video. It looked wild. Like,
Fire.
that shit looked wild. I was looking at it, I was like, is it out? I ain't see the whole video. I just saw the clip. That shit looked wild. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and like even the last video, America on Fire, that just came out, and like to your point, like, man, David pushes you to the brink. Like, we did a lot of illegal shit shooting that video, and like with him, it's like he rented out an 18-wheeler, once 30 by 20 decal with the album title, like setting off fireworks at City Hall, like, just a bunch of shit that, like, logistically, it's like, oh, how do you get the permits or do this and that? And he's just like a daring creative to where, his vision, like, he's gonna go at great lengths to get it done. And it's like super exciting working with him. And like, we initially linked up because I was able to get him in at my college radio show. And then from there, I started on this intern team in 2018 and then worked up to the management ranks. And like, this time last year, he kind of, broke every rule because he put out a whole album, no DSPs, no YouTube, no Spotify, nothing. He, made it available on his website, and you had to make a minimum donation of like $7 to get access to the link. And that, kind of spiraled into him like getting a lot of, you know, support from like Dame Dash, a few others, you know, got on Rodney Jerkins' radar. And then from there, we were able to do a partnership with BPG and then, you know, Warner Records. So like we're in the initial phases of that, you know, got 2 singles out, third one coming May. And, you know, Dave's multi-hyphenated, man, you know, because he's a fashion designer, street artist. You know, if you had to compare him, you know, I think the most immediate is like Kanye. And I know that's like a grand comparison, but even team structure wise, like, you know, our co-manager is like G. Roberson, and, you know, he started off with like Ye and, you know, was with Drake for his first 2 projects. So like, you know, it's a blessing to be having access and just working alongside like a lot of, you know, like the Phil Jacksons of like rap management. And, you know, we're figuring things out, you know, he's next level with the creative, and like we're really excited going into like his album release this summer. And I really think he's gonna push culture forward and, you know, really have an explosive moment where he really gets like that attention that he deserves. So, you know, it's just been a challenging, you know, pressing, but also like, you know, a real fun process, you know, just being able to work with someone like Dave.
I know you just talked about UCLA radio. I was going to ask you that earlier. How did that come about? Because I know you were doing that for a couple of years once you got into UCLA. And I was always wondered how that came about.
Yeah. So, man, like, you know, I came in as a transfer student. So, you know, and on the UC system, you got like 3 11-week quarters rather than like 2 16 or 18-week semesters. So, you know, and radio was crazy because it was typically like just the white hipster kids, and they tried to keep that shit like mad low key and exclusive. But I kind of had one homie that like put me on, let me intern for him. Then I was able to kind of weave through the cracks to host my own show. And like, you know, just being from Milwaukee and seeing like we don't have a platform to generate awareness like that just immediately inspired me. And, you know, I was able to lock in with like Wave, Ish, YB, and Kenny, and a few other local, like Young Satori, like a few other people. And even with that, you know, it was dope because, you know, I was able to tap in like with Roddy, you know, before he did the Atlantic situation, like right after he put out Feed the Streets. And it's crazy because Meezy like got a placement on the first Feed the Streets, and like it's not on streaming no more. Am I streaming anymore? And I'm guessing because they probably didn't properly clear it with the producers at the time. And then like even 24K Golden, like I got him super early before his Valentino record when he was like coming into USC as a freshman. And then, you know, my favorite moment was like tapping in with Corday, who was going by Entendre at the time, and my homie was managing him. And like, you know, and that's why with music, man, you just gotta have intestinal fortitude, and like you just can't quit and you keep going because like, you know, with those 3 artists I named, like I literally seen like, you know, them having like 30,000 streams on Spotify to now it's like, you know, 2 of them are Grammy nominated. You know, Golden had like the biggest kind of alternative hip hop pop song of the year with Ian Dior, and it's just like things could happen that quick if you just stay with it, you know, stay diligent, hone your craft, and like build the right team, and then, you know, make the right partnerships. Like you really be off to the moon.
Definitely gotta just stay down until it's up. Really.
Sure.
And that's always, you know, my parents told me, you know, it's something always got to put in the back of your head, you know, stay down until it's up. Like you can't give up until, you know, the job is done. You know, R.P. Kobe, job's not done, you can't stop. That's how I go.
Sure.
So I'm gonna ask all of you guys this question before we get to the end. How do you personally want to be remembered?
You know, that's a deep question. You know, for me personally, I'd say really developing that ecosystem here to where, you know, creatives could thrive to the point where, you know, we bring like a platinum record back, but more importantly, it's like the infrastructure that allows people to be like a full-time musician, and even in hip hop specifically, to where, you know, they're taking care of their family with that, and just really using hip hop in a tool in Milwaukee to, you know, just build the community, deter crime, and just empower people, man. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, when I walk away from music, you know, after like a 20, 30-year career, man, that's something like I really intend to do for the city, so.
I want to be remembered by just always finding new talent, always finding new ways to reinvent myself, to reinvent all the people that's around me. I want to just be looked at to just always be providing something new, you know, for my city, for my friends, for my family, just bringing in new opportunity and, you know, just keeping it moving forward, you know.
I guess how I want to be remembered by is like, I don't know. I mean, I guess when I get older, I want to like give back to the city, and
I want to be known as the best producer that came out of Milwaukee. You know, that's my goal, and that's what I strive to be, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I want to be reminded of, and also just a stand-up guy, somebody can look up to, like my brothers and my sister. They can look up to, you know, be like, I just want to make my family proud and be the best producer in Milwaukee, out of Milwaukee.
What we on with time? Got something for us? We got Justin got something for us. We go start it up.
All right, cool. So we call it this or that. So there are like 5 things for y'all to choose from and pass the mic around. Yeezys or Jordans?
Jordans.
I'm gonna go with the retros as well.
Kanye got the same birthday as me. You know what I'm rocking with, June 8th. I'm rocking with my boy Easy.
probably Jordans.
Kanye, you my favorite producer / rapper, but I gotta say Jordans, man.
All right, so Drink Champs or Joe Rogan?
Drink Champs.
Drink Champs.
Drink Champs.
This is gonna be controversial, but I'm going with Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I might be with him on Joe Rogan, but Drink Champs getting there though. The Drink Champs is getting there.
Drink Champs. I like Drink Champs. All right, y'all prefer method of contact: text messages or phone calls?
Text.
Man, damn near go with email, but I'll probably say just call me though.
Yeah, I'm going with the calls too. Too much. I got too much business to be doing to be texting.
Definitely calls.
I think they already know text.
Okay. Apple juice or orange juice?
Orange juice. No debate.
Apple juice, no debate.
Oh, my.
Give me apple juice.
I'm going orange juice with light pulp.
It's definitely orange juice. How y'all go? I can't drink no fake juice. Y'all out here drinking fake juice.
And then last but not least, watch sports or play sports?
Play.
Man, like 60 pounds ago it would have been play, but I'm probably watching now. I ain't gonna lie.
Neither.
Depends on my day, you know.
I would say neither too, but I'd rather play sports.
Probably both. I play and watch.
Thank y'all for playing. Yes, sir. Kicking it.
We have to go wrap it up right there. Oh, wrap it around. My bad. All right. Again, I want to thank y'all for coming through. Sitting with me for this 40 minutes. Thank y'all for coming through out of y'all's little session. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Kicking It with Tyree with Creambridge.
Yeah, shout out.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Cut. Print.
Duck off low key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit a 3 like Kyrie.